Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of RPA Master Intelligent Automation Showcase. I'm your featured host, Derek Gerber, and today's sponsor is Directive Consulting. Directive Consulting is the trusted performance marketing agency for technology companies. Visit directiveconsulting.com today to get started. All right, let's jump into the show. We're excited today because we have Lorhan, the co-founder of BotCity. Welcome to the show, my friend. Please introduce yourself and share what your company does.
Thanks, Derek. It's a pleasure to be here. So I'm Lorhan Caproni. I'm founder of BotCity. So we started BotCity understanding that's a new potential wave in the RPA market. So RPA was born because companies have so many systems, legacy platforms and stuff like this. And then we saw the rise of the low-code, no-code automation platforms with the promise that any business users can build automations. We were a little bit skeptical about that at the beginning, so we kind of decided to interview lots of RPA squads around the world. So me and my co-founder, we interviewed more than 200 squads, RPA squads around the world with the question, is that right? Like, are business users building automations, like complex automations? And they said, nah, it's all developers. We're all software developers. There's no business users. So the question was, why? So why do you have people that can code? Why are you using low code, no code solutions? The answer was because we don't have an option. So we created BotCity as a solution made for developers because we understand that RPA projects are complex projects and should be treated as software projects. And good software projects demands code, demands logic, demands developers. So that's why we built a complete solution made for tech teams.
All right, fantastic. Yes, I gotta say, when it comes to these things, it can be a hotly debated topic. So I love that you're stepping onto the scene with a demonstration today of some of those things that we can jump into. So why don't we just go right into it? Share some of the things that you've been working on lately and walk us through a business case example here that can inspire the audience today.
Okay, that's amazing. So we can start thinking about some layers that a product can have, right? So we provide two main value proposals for tech teams. First, we need to accelerate developers' productivity on build complex automations, right? The second challenge is when we have like so many Python automations, how can I manage that? How can I orchestrate these automations? So there was a myth in the market that if you build RPA using code, you can't have governance, you can't have control, and this is not true anymore. So we have a full solution to attend this demand, right? So let me show you something about a quick overview or some features that we can have using BotCity. So the first that I want to show is when you think about a complete stack for automation, we talk about frameworks. So the first thing, we have frameworks created by BotCity for desktop automation, for XPath, for web automation, and computer vision. So your automation is open source, so you don't have lock-in with any vendor anymore. You are using Python, pure Python. You're not attached to any vendor anymore. So when you talk about this kind of stuff, we're talking about a powerful documentation, so you can have everything a developer needs to build fast automation. So I want to extract a DAO from a page, for instance, I can use ready-to-go plugins from BotCity. Or if in my automation, I want to put like to read a spreadsheet, Excel spreadsheet, it's just a pip install and I have a full plugin for that. But when things start getting out of control is when we talk about legacy systems or desktop systems. So that's why we have this product. It's called BotCity Studio. So it's a developer tool that runs side by side with the developer's IDE. So you can use like PyCharm or VS Code. And the intention here, so you can create automations based on interaction with the UI of any applications. So check it out, this example here. We have this Facturama, so this is a standard ERP system, right? It's for order, invoice, and everything. This is a desktop application, so it's kind of challenging to build this kind of automations because they don't have any APIs or integrations. So here, to build an automation to add a new product using BotCity, I give a print screen on the platform. So now I'm in Bot Studio, so I can interact directly with the UI of the platform. So I'm selecting here a new product. I'm selecting this element. I'm giving label to this element that I select, right? So I'm saying this is a new product, and I'm choosing the action to click on this element. When when I do that, what the tool is going to make is going to automatically generate a Python code for me based on this element. And then is there when things get interesting, because this element will be found using computer vision technology. It's not XY position. So if this element changes the position at the page, then there's not a problem because you're going to find it the same way. So we are using under the hood the same technology that like Tesla used to identify a tree, we are using to identify a button in software. So at the same time, you generate the code here, you get the code ready to go, injected in your IDE. So at the end, you are at pure Python open source automation. So using this solution, you can speed up many solutions like this away, like this: enterprise ERPs, legacy systems, desktop applications, and web applications, right? So you have a really powerful solution. You don't need to use only computer vision. You can use Selenium, you can use Puppeteer, File2V, or any kind of solution. But we offer a solution as well, our proprietary frameworks that you can use to build on automations. The second challenge you're going to face is like, how can you manage this kind of automation? So we have the best solution based for Python automation. So we are thinking through this with customers. We have thousands of users globally in 66 countries that we are doing research with them to understand what do you should have in our orchestrator. So BotCity Maestro is something that you can make like easy deploys for automation. So deploy is like, I can make an RPA master live demo here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, let me put it here. And I give next. I can use my build for my automation, find my build here. I can choose my technology in Python, my versioning of my bot. I can run in a virtual machine in a deploy. So deploy of a bot like in 3 clicks. I will record this again because this bots already exist. So you can edit this later. So I start again. So you can deploy any automation. So I can write here Lorhan 567, my automation here. I can pick my bot here. So I build and I choose the technology on Python, deploy my bot here. So choose my virtual machine where to run and deploy my automation like in 3 clicks, and choose a new test to start. And I can flag the priority, the date, and create tests. So we have everything from test queues. We can have several features that are really important for developers, as I can see the real-time status of running virtual machines. So I can see everything what's going to happen in a virtual machine. So I can get logs from virtual machines. I can extract any information that I want here. So I can check the logs of this virtual machine. I can get, if an automation gets an error, that gets really interesting. Automations give errors all the time, right? So you need to give maintenance. So we create this feature that's really helpful for developers, because when automation gives an error, it gives back the trace back of the code for the developers and the screenshot of where this automation stopped. So with that, you can have everything you need to give maintenance in your kind of automations. So we have everything from bot versioning, scheduling. You can have alerts that you can create in an automation, any kind of stuff like that. So when you talk about a powerful solution, which kind of automation that we can build? So let's get this example. This is a construction company that has a full process of supplier validation, right? So suppliers need to send all the documentation they have. And then people need to check these documents to see if the suppliers are okay according to the rules, right? So this is a process that is now fully made by a bot. So the bot access the support system. So is a web repository where the suppliers send all the documentation. Then we use our intelligent document processing solution. So I didn't show this, but we have a solution that can parse PDF files and extract information, reads all the information. The bot runs an engine of rules to approve. If the supplier is approved, they go forward. If it's not approved, use NLP to email users. After that, the bot gets into SAP and fulfilling 12 screens of data with 20 different companies and rules of fulfilling every single field, and then closes this ticket. This is a process that used to take like 10 days for this company. Now it's a 6-minute bot running like 3 years with super low maintenance. So the point is, when we work with code, you have more powerful automations. One other thing that's really important, this is a company that we migrate from UiPath. And this is really important because when one of the main results that we have is the bots are 3 times fast. The same process when you work with no code and you work with Python, there's no way to compare them because it's really faster. So we have better performance, you give more productivity to developers, you have governance for these automations, and you don't have locked-in vendors anymore. So we created a solution that, as we like to say, is on the shoulder of giants, right? So we work with an open stack, a solution that you cannot adapt your solution to your stack, not the opposite. So it's a movement that we have community license, open source frameworks for you to work in a really affordable SaaS pay-as-scale business model. So that's the way we are approaching the RPA as a new generation.
That is fantastic. And it gets me really excited because I think that what I understood is that you're not necessarily trying to replace technologies or platforms. You can enable somebody to quickly automate something at scale that you could still manage by using a custom coding language such as Python that isn't overly obtrusive, but actually gives me additional benefits and results from that. Am I saying that right?
Is that totally right? As we always like to say, the best tool is the tool that suits you best, right? So you can choose your strategy. We are not providing one that coexists with low-code platforms, so you can have citizen developers on one side, but now we are giving full power for developers to work on the scale of production. So that's it.
So I can deploy a bot in a couple of minutes. I can enable that bridge, if you would, between citizen developer, low code, and hyper coded environments without having to lose any sort of oversight, performance, or error management along the way. And then I know that my systems are taken care of and can scale into the future. So that's extremely powerful. Do you have any other types of business cases that you could share in terms of ROI? That was an example that you just shared too. Another one for the audience maybe would be fantastic.
Yes, when most of the customers, because of RPA, is more working on financial area and the tax area. So, right. So we have one customer that works consulting all the tax for their customers in 3 different government systems and fulfilling all the data automatically. That's the power of Python. This customer runs 10,000 executions per hour. That's the kind of scale that you can provide because our model, you can use not just the standard RPA model, you need to use one robot is one virtual machine and have 24 hours, right? So if you need to make parallel executions, you need to buy more license. Our standard license already gives you power to parallelize a lot of stuff. So customers can really use and our orchestrator gives our automatically load balances. So you can even trigger automations from more advanced stuff like AWS Lambda or using Dockers to run automations. That's why you can scale automation this kind. Like I have 1 hour to do 5,000 requests. Okay, this is possible right now. So we are providing a solution that you can work with elastic computing to work with that. So that's why companies like LG, EY are working with us right now because they're seeing that's a new opportunity to make things on scale.
This is amazing. And so I already know what the audience is thinking based off what you're saying. How do I get started? What's the licensing model look like? How would I quickly bring this into my environment if I already have an RPA deployment or I'm looking to get started?
Okay, so to get started, if you go to BotCity.dev, you can create a community-free account. So you can start trying for yourself. Our solution is for developers. Developers want to try stuff. That's all. So that's why you can try everything from the orchestrator, BotCity Studio. So you can have this. We have more than 5,000 people in our community, so globally, so you can get support from them and forums and stuff like that. To adopt our business model is a SaaS-based business model, so we avoid you to have this long-term contract that you need like 24 months. So you can start, you can turn it off anytime you want, and you can upgrade plans. So normally, when you compare to other platforms, they're about 5 times cheaper. Why? Because we don't need to create so many abstractions for partner leaders. We give a tool for developers. So that's why we can work in a more affordable business model and pay as a scale. So small companies that work like small automations for starting, you spend like 200 bucks per month. But if you have an operation large scale, a big company, you pay a big company price. So it's a fair pricing. So we like to say we are trying to build a like AWS for automation, thinking about the business model, not on the delusion, but on the business model. So it serves everyone. So that's the whole point. And to start in our company, I think the best way would be it's really easy to implement because the orchestrator is in our cloud and automation is run on your infrastructure. It's just a simple installation, and you should start coexisting with the actual solution that you have. And the new automations you can make it then in Python. And after some time, you start migrating. If the company, sometimes what happens a lot, the company gets interested, but they don't have enough people to make this migration fast. So because of that, we built a global partnership network to help these companies with that. So they already work with BotCity and they can help accelerate this kind of thing.
That is amazing. So again, for the audience, get started for free. We know you developers out there watching right now want to do that. Get in there, go play with the technology, get started, and also more than affordable, I say, with a fair price from what we can understand, completely based off of what your needs. But if you have those small itty bitty projects, this is a great application for that. If you have those big monster projects and not enough people to put on it, this is also a great solution for those things to patch up those gaps. But then you also build something for longevity that scales with full control. I think that's what's most powerful about what I'm watching here today. So I'm loving what I'm hearing. What's next for you, my friend? And what's next for BotCity around the corner this year?
Okay, we created BotCity to be global for day one, and we think the within the RPA and orchestration, we see a lot of opportunity to get land and expand the more companies problem they are having. So we enter in the document processing. We are now focused on more extra features in the automation and the orchestration. So you don't need to orchestrate just RPA in our orchestrator anymore. You can orchestrate commands. You can orchestrate VBAs or any kind of different applications or ETLs. So we are focusing more on education. So you're going to see lots of new courses and Python-based courses, RPA courses for developers, and core features to be the most easy orchestrator to apply for 3 different audiences. We are building something for developers, for RPA managers, and for business users to use their automation on a daily basis as well. So that's the what's next for us.
And that's what I'm hearing out loud is this great sense of community here, great sense of self-education so you can get started for free, educate yourself, and then lean into the community for more support. I love what I'm hearing. I just want to take a moment to say thank you so much for joining us here on the show. Is there any final words you want to leave us with before we jump off?
I just want to thank you, Derek, and RPA Master for this conversation. I check your work all the time, so you have a reference in this field. So thank you for having me here.
And we're very honored and blessed. And thank you so much. I know the audience really appreciates it. But that has been another wonderful episode of RPA Masters Intelligent Automation Showcase. I've been your featured host, Derek Gerber. Thank you again to our sponsors at Directive Consulting. And with that, we'll see you on the next episode. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Talk soon. Thanks.